Hey everybody, I'm here with my friend Jordan, and we just got done watching cinema.
Oh yes, this is the next Morbius.
Oh my god.
Well, actually it's a
lot older than Morbius. It just
as good quality.
Wow, I can't believe that nobody ever really talks about this movie.
Yeah. Maybe because Jared Leto isn't in it, maybe that's kind of why it gets a free pass.
It's my god, I'm at a loss for words.
Yeah, no, this was Martin Scorsese himself. If he watched this movie, would have just been blown away by it. If he thought Morbius was good, I just don't think he could have predicted the quality of cinema that FeardotCom had produced, and just the riveting plot line, and you know, cutting edge story, and realistic, you know, characters and suspense. And not boring in any way, shape, or form.
Totally not boring.
Nothing.
That's why I wasn't falling asleep 5 to 10 times watching this thing.
I literally couldn't, watch this movie fast enough. I was just like, wow, I can't wait to see what happens next as we cut through this 3% Rotten Tomatoes classic. But you know, when I say 3%, I really mean like 300%. I mean, this thing didn't suck at all. I mean, 2002 Picture of the Year, Feard.com.
Oh, sweet Jesus, this was so goddamn boring.
Yeah, this is just a snooze fest. You know, there was a lot of sarcasm. I think my sarcastic rant was probably better than this movie. I don't know.
It
I
was.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Oh my god, this movie. The pure definition of a boring, forgettable film that's just not going to stick with me.
Should have stayed in 2002.
Right. We watched this thing because we were like, okay, it's Halloween. Let's watch some funny, shitty horror movies. And so Fear.com came up in the conversation.
Yeah, I looked up some of the worst horror movies ever, and this one came up. And is it the worst movie ever?
Oh, no, it's
one of the boring movies.
It's one of the most boring horror films to ever sit through. There's no ounce of like any bit of personality in the directing
or
scariness. There's one moment that there's a few kind of funny bits. The opening scene actually had me laughing quite a bit with how poorly directed and edited it was. And so like, oh, this is kind of promising. And then it turns into a boring police procedural with Stephen Dorff as the lead actor, and lazy police work, incompetent police work, mind you. Nobody ever wears any gloves in this movie. They're all really stupid. It's just so... God, it's just not good.
Bad CGI.
Really atrocious CGI. You know the budget of this movie was $40 million.
Half of which probably went to Rammstein royalties.
That's right. Like, Rammstein was in this movie.
Well, not them, but their music.
Yeah, their music. Nice. Their music was.
Yeah.
The main serial killer is completely devoid of any unique personality or anything like that. Just does not stand out whatsoever.
Yeah, he's
the
very
directing.
Cheesy.
Yeah,
he's like a mad scientist almost.
Right, and it turns into like a bad what's the word, like a Saban Kids level of like CGI effects levels, like something you'd see in Big Bad Beetleborgs in terms of like low quality. Where that has some charm, this has no charm whatsoever. It ends rather abruptly, kind of, and like,
not that complaining.
Yeah, it's not an exciting climax. There's no character to get behind. There's some very, like you said, incompetent police procedural stuff done within this movie. There's nothing I can get behind with this thing because it's just so forgettable and boring. The hardest thing about sitting through this movie is struggling to stay awake, because we had to rewind it because we were both like, granted it's kind of later in the day, but it should keep me a little bit more engaged than this. Like the fact that I kind of like rewind multiple times because I was just so bored trying to struggle through it is the problem. $40 million. This does not look like, where did the money go?
To all the exposition scenes, Sean.
Oh, yeah.
Which this movie was like 80% of.
Oh, God. So the plot this time around is, there's this website known as Fear.com. You watch it, and then 48 hours later, you're dead. So the spirit or ghost in this thing doesn't give you like much time compared to Samara. Like say what you want about Samara from like the Ring series, she at least gives you a week. This spirit's like, no, you got 48 hours. You're not, or you're dead. That's basically it, and you die in the most laughably cheesy, stupid.
Keel over almost.
Yeah, you just kind of keel. Like the guy in the beginning of the movie, it was like the most avoidable death in history, and it's just it's not good. There's some things that I question, like for instance, there's like the one lead character female whatever. What was her name? Terry.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God! I actually remembered somebody's name in this movie. And her cat.
It was probably the most exciting part of this movie. To be honest.
The cat's the most exciting part of this movie.
That's all I need to know about this movie.
Ugh, man, what a snooze fest! What a snooze fest! Like, it's not the worst thing I've ever sat through, but God, is it boring?
Yeah, it's the opposite of Last Jedi, right? Where Last Jedi will infuriate you and cause you to rant for several years later, especially on Sean's video streams. But yeah, you'll never watch this movie again, probably. If you like this movie somehow, I mean, God bless.
Right. The fact that you found some enjoyment in FeardotCom, maybe you're just the director. There's a reason this one's like nobody ever talks about it though, like, because there's so many bad movies that people still talk about because they're so like, right, happens. It's the worst kind of bad. It's a boring bad, and I'd rather have like so bad it's good, or bad to where it's like infuriatingly frustrating sometimes, as opposed to just boring bad.
Yeah, it's hard for me to get angry about this film because
it's a snooze fest. It's so forgettable.
The movie.
The CGI is bad. I don't understand how.
There's not even that much of it, really, either. Is the thing,
right? And the ending looks so cheesy.
Random fog.
Yeah. In the police station, the guy's just kind of like doing stuff like, I'm an obsessed cop. Yeah, you know why we're obsessed? Because everyone's smoking a shit ton of cigarettes. And all of a sudden, there's just fog bits like in the police station. Like, before anyone is really watching the tape in Fear.com, like this snuff film type thing. And then they're just dead.
Yeah. Also, for a movie that is so centered around snuff films on the internet, there's sure not a lot of snuff film in this, or blood and guts like you would expect from that.
Right. It's so kind of tame for like a lot of this stuff right here. It's just...
Not that I'm advocating for that, but I feel like, it's...
If you're going to do a film like this, at least kind of push it a little bit. Twinkie. Yeah, it's just... It's like, it's already bad for you. Might as well just go all in on it. But like, this movie doesn't do that. It feels like the bare minimum was done. Nothing is memorable about any of these characters. The villain is boring. Stephen Dorff is very boring. I've seen him in Blade. Blade's an awesome movie. Go watch that. This is not...
I guess my biggest plot hole in this movie, though, too. Mm-hmm. Why does it... If the ghost is capable of killing all the onlookers, why doesn't she also kill the movie's bad guy?
Yeah, it's just... And you know what? Like, the thing I hate about stuff like this... Okay, you have 40 hours, police officers, to solve this murder. Why would she be upset with the cops for trying to solve the murder? Like, ghost spirits don't make sense in movies.
Smart ghosts, they know all these people's life stories, so...
Right, and they do all this, like, ghosts and that sometimes just don't make sense in movies.
It's not like the cops are really, like, corrupt or evil in this movie. I think they try hard, at least,
they're trying to solve the case and figure things out, but, oh, yeah, you have 40 hours or you die.
Yeah, it's not like cops that are corrupt.
Right, there's no, what was his name? It was, Hoffman, Detective Hoffman.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a Detective Hoffman situation from Saw. This is just... They're trying to solve this murder. And one part that also bugged me, too, is, like, this Terry character. She goes to some, like, place or whatever where this body, I guess, is, like, almost buried. It's like this homeless lady just kind of sitting there, like, by a fire. She goes in. Keep in mind, it's pretty cold out, it looks like. Then she decides to just dive into, like, this dirty, nasty-ass water. She doesn't bring any goggles or anything. She just has a flashlight, and she's kind of, like, shining light. But, of course, it's kind of crystal clear down there. It's supposed to be, like, murky, nasty-ass water.
I guess the ghost kind of does help Terry, though. I guess.
Right, like, they try to have their little Jaws jump scare moment. And then there's kind of, like, a dumb moment when she takes his body out of the water. And then that's that. It just looks like a toy. Or, like, a plastic prop or something like that. It just... like, trying to muster up anything else to say about this thing is kind of hard too, because it's just I guess my final thought in this movie is it's like The Ring if The Ring went on welfare, basically. It's what it is. It's a time horror based movie about watching something that will kill you. And if you like that movie, don't watch this. Go watch The Ring. Go watch The Ring. The sequels are, I'm sure, much better, too. I did sit through Rings. That's one of the first things I did after the movie, like, when I started covering it a few years ago on this channel. Man. It was a weird phase, too, because it was for, like, 3 straight weekends. I was talking about movies that were sequels to original films that came out in, like, 2002. It was, like, Resident Evil, the final chapter, which we did go see. And then I saw Triple X Return of Xander Cage, a sequel to a movie that began in 2002. And then Rings, which was a sequel to an original film that came out in 2002.
Oh, yeah, so 2002 is just full of... Well, actually, no, it's full of award-winning cinema, because this was a picture of the year, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
I can't think of any finer movies.
Right.
You know, Attack of the Clones came out this year. That was a great movie.
Two Towers.
Oh, that was...
Attack of the Clones is very good, but Two Towers...
No, I mean, look, you know, I could go on for days about Lord of the Rings, but
right.
that's not my favorite movie.
But you know what? At least you'll have more of an emotional response to it than this.
That is true, but God, Quentin Yurkai just won, you know, at the key. I know they can't just stray that far off from source material, but God.
Apparently Rings of Power can.
J.R. Tolkien just couldn't give a win to the orcs for once in the series.
So, but hey, you know what? Maybe Rings of Power is for you or something.
Yeah.
I haven't heard good things.
I didn't even like the good Lord of the Rings, so...
I'm not going to bother watching Rings of Power. I just don't care anymore. The Hobbit pretty much killed any enthusiasm I had for any, like, Tolkien stuff. But, yeah, now we're getting off track talking about Tolkien. That just goes to show you how...
It's probably more interesting than this movie, so...
Right, and, like, watching paint
cool.
dry is... What's cool?
The Shire.
Oh, yeah, the Shire's cool. Yeah, like, there's nothing enthusiastic to say about Fear.com. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen.
It's a movie.
It's a movie that somehow costs $40 million. I've seen movies for, like, a fraction of this that look better, sound better, acted better, way more memorable. Like, I just saw a movie called Barbarian. Budget was, what, like $10 million? Better directed, better acted, better everything.
Yeah, there's nothing like even like funny in this. Like, you know, like some horror movies, the characters will crack a joke or whatever. No,
$40 million on this. Somebody spent $40 million.
I think they made about 18, so this lost.
Yeah, lost money, and deservedly so, because it's not very good, and it's not even like a fun so bad it's good. Like I kind of hoped it would be. It's just
it was one of the Rotten Tomato bottom 10 horror movies ever, though. So
yes.
I mean, yeah, you know, if this movie's goal is to scare you, then yeah, it will fail spectacularly in its goal. If this movie's goal is to, you know, bore you to sleep, then yes, it will.
I'll say one good thing about this movie: if you have insomnia, it's a good cure for that.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So that's what they did. The worst kind of bad movie, a boring bad. I'd rather take one that infuriates me or a so bad it's good, but a boring bad.
I suppose if you're looking to get into the horror genre and want something very tame, I suppose.
Right.
This will do it.
Yeah, and if you want like a funny, bad, early 2000s horror movie, go watch something like a Jason X or a Halloween Resurrection, because at least those are funny bad. Yeah, so Busta Rhymes, trick or treat, motherfucker.
Yeah, why couldn't there have been Kung Fu in this movie? I would have made sense. No, right. But does this movie make sense? No. So you might as well, you know, just
do something dumb funny with it. I wish it was funny bad. That could have at least made it more entertaining, but boring. That's this movie. Boring. So
boring. Like and subscribe.
Thank you. We actually recorded this, like tried multiple times, but some errors were going on.
I want to put those ones up, but Sean doesn't want to. I think
I deleted them. I cleared the space.
Our first review was actually, even though it was only like 7 minutes, it was brilliant.
I know, but for some reason, this kind of crashed.
Never Again, and we made like 4 Last Jedi jokes.
We talked about how there's a Fear.com website, and apparently it won't actually let me get on it because it's like
probably a virus. Don't go there.
Right, don't go on it because apparently there's viruses for it.
I thought by law, if you were to reference a movie website, you'd have to buy the domain, and they probably did for a while.
Maybe somebody else did actually made an actual, like, can you imagine if somebody actually like made like an actual like site like depicted in the movie, like just bought the domain and stuff?
There had to be something for this at one point, I would guess. Like,
yeah,
I mean, because there is a website interface in the movie they show now.
And I'm like, it felt like I was looking at like an early 2000s PC game.
It is.
But yeah, that's basically what it is designed as. But maybe that's where all the money went into it or something.
Yeah, no, there definitely had to be something for this at some point. But again, this is a movie. It's so forgettable. I just doubt anyone cares enough to go look up the history of what they produced online.
But anyways,
if you do, God bless. I mean, hey, you got a lot of free time and enjoy things like that. So
right. If anybody's any thoughts on Fear.com or something, tell us in the comment section down below.
If you can find anything on his website, you know, that would be cool. That's probably actually more intriguing than this movie.
Right.
So.
Just early 2000s forgettable schlock.
Yeah, anything in the pipeline? Oh, Black Adam next week?
Yeah, we'll be trying to check out Black Adam. Well, I mean, we'll see if you're able to or not, but you know what?
Yeah.
Black Adam's next. I got the Hellraiser review coming up that I started writing, and then hopefully the written review of Halloween Ends comes out soon, but that's one where it's either going to happen this year or it's going to happen next year, so we'll wait and see. So
You're doing a written review?
yes, I do. I just did a written review on Halloween Kills, which you got to check out. So,
I guess I will. I see there's stuff on Sean's channel I hadn't even seen.
Right. Like
lots of crispy content.
Right. So there's the after the movies, which is stuff we do like this, and then there's I titled the JT's Reborn reviews, where they're actually written and edited together. Take a lot longer to put together, but sometimes after the movie is fun, and then those ones are fun to do too. It's just the editing takes forever sometimes. So, but anyways,
yes, this sucked.
Yeah, this isn't very good.
2.5.
Exactly. 2.5 out of 10. The 2.5 is for the...
There's some hot women in the movie. Terry didn't look bad.
Yeah, but, it
didn't insult my intelligence. I mean, I don't feel dumber after watching this.
Right, there's...
So that's a point right there.
The opening sequence is kind of funny, how poorly edited and directed it is.
I like the cat.
The cat's cool. The cat's just there.
Yeah,
he looks miserable the whole movie.
I mean, wouldn't you be if you were in this film? I mean, I guess the actor's checks probably weren't bad with the $40 million budget, so...
It doesn't look like they spent $40 million. I don't know what kind of money laundering scheme was done here, because this does not look like a $40 million movie. And even that, this is 2002 or 3, so inflation, it's probably I don't know, 60 or 70 million. I don't know.
Actually, now I mentioned it too. And you just how few extras were in this movie. There's nobody.
And the thing is, the biggest lead is Steven Dorff. How much? What was the money laundering scheme for this movie? Because there clearly had to have been one. If it was $40 million, because it does not look it. There's no big epic set piece or anything like that. It looks so low budget too, which is the thing. How did this get $40 million? Where's the fucking money in this thing?
But
you know what? Somebody look that up. I bet you the story about money laundering is that there's some more of an interesting story about the making of this thing than the actual movie itself. Yeah. So
seriously, where were the extras in the beginning scene? Right during the train station, there's a train coming. There's not a single person there.
Yeah, there's a mystery here, a much more interesting mystery about the making of this thing.
Was there a virus in 2002 we just didn't know about, and they couldn't have people on set? Was 2002 really a COVID year as well?
Damn it, you said the word. Now they're going to demonetize the video.
Wait, you're not allowed to say that?
Apparently not.
Well, we didn't say anything data-wise on it.
Right. So, I don't know. I'm just joking.
But
YouTube tends to do that if you say the C word on here. But who cares? It's one word at the end of the video. Nobody will notice.
Yeah. I've got to bless anyone watching still.
You say COVID.
COVID?
Yeah, COVID.
COVID?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm talking like COVID.
It's okay. We've gone off the deep ends.
Yeah.
But FeardotCom, not very good. Post your comments down below. Thanks for joining me, Jordan. And this movie sucked. But $40 million, where did the money go?
East Cleveland.